Okay, we're going to take a look at this graph, and we're going to look at the first question, part A. The two variables shown in this graph are blank and blank. So our variables are always found on the x and y axis. So those are the things that are changing. So year and cost. And in this case, the cost depends on the year. So it looks like the price is going up every year, or just about. So let's look at part B. Between this year and this year, there was no change in the cost of a gallon of paint. So if there's no change in the cost, that means that the dots aren't going to go up or down at all. So as I'm scanning, I notice that right here, the dots don't go up or down. So that means the price doesn't increase or decrease. So that would be 2007 and 2008. So between 2007 and 2008. All right, between this year and this year, the cost of a gallon of paint had the greatest increase. So we want to see where those dots are going to jump the most. Where from one year to the next, the dot goes up significantly. So I'm noticing that from here to here, that dot really changes. So that would be from 2004 to 2005. Alright, so we're going to describe how the distance changed as time increased. So we're going to think about, if they were consistent the whole way, if they slowed down, if they sped up, if they stopped, and we're going to look at that. So go ahead and describe it on your own right now. Alright, let's take a look at each part of this graph. So I can see that kind of right here, they're really consistent. So the dots are forming almost a perfectly straight line. So we would say that they begin consistent, which means their speed stays the same. Okay, so they begin consistent. So now let's take a look right here at what's going on. So right here, they're kind of slowing down because the dots they're going up. And at one point it looks like they even stop. So let's kind of back it up a little bit. So right here, they slow down. So at hour 4, they slow down. Right? So they're slowing down. They're not going as fast. And then what looks like is happening right here is that they're really not moving at all. So maybe they stopped. Maybe they stopped to have something to eat or whatever. So from hour 5 to 6, they stopped. All right, and then let's look at the very end of the trip. So at the very end of the trip would be right here. And again, it looks like these dots are forming almost a perfectly straight line. So I can say that they ended their trip consistent again. So, meaning that the speed didn't change. Okay, so that would be how we could describe each part of this graph. Alright, now we're just going to make some estimations. So we're going to look for the distance traveled after 3.5 hours. So at 3.5 hours, I'm going to follow that up to where the line is. And now I'm going to follow it over And it looks like it's hitting right in between 200 and 250. So I would estimate that it's approximately 225 miles. All right, let's do this one more time. Estimate the distance traveled after 4.5 hours. So we go to where 4.5 hours is. Okay, there's the line, and now I'm going to follow it over. And it looks like it's maybe closer to 250 than it is to 300. So I would say maybe approximately 260. But if you thought of something right around 270, 275, that would be fine too.